In this week's Art with Mrs. DeLune, we are going to be making collagraph prints. Collagraph prints were actually invented in 1955. The word call or collier is Greek and it means the word glue, which is exactly how we are going to be making our printing blocks. So, as far as materials, you will need some cardboard. I got a thin cardboard and a thick cardboard. You will need a pair of scissors, pencil, glue or tape. You will also need a piece of tin foil, the thicker the better, and a piece of paper to do your print. The first thing you need to do is find the thicker cardboard and make your canvas, we are going to call it. This is where you are going to glue your object on. This is going to be your printing block. So as you can see in the video, I am just taking my cardboard and I'm cutting it into pieces. You may need to have an adult help you if this is the thicker cardboard, or you can also use thinner cardboard. So cardboard from cereal boxes, like I had a popcorn box, that's going to be thinner and it will still work just as good for your collagraph prints, and it probably is a little bit easier to cut. Your stamp or printing block can be as big or small as you want it. I did mine about 6 inches by 6 inches and it makes a pretty good medium size stamp. You could make a large one if you have a lot of cardboard, or your stamp could be really small, like an inch or 2 inches. So really there is lots of variation for this. Now once you have your printing block made, you are going to use the other cardboard that you have collected to start drawing your bird. So you can either do this with a pencil so you can erase. I did it with a black marker so you can see it. So we're actually going to start with a C shape, and I want it to be as big as my piece of cardboard that I'm using. So it's going to start with the head, go around to the tail. Then I'm going to add on it the beak by using a sideways triangle. And then the next line I'm going to draw is from the tail to the beak, kind of in a upside down rainbow. Next, I'm going to take my marker and go to the left and then around to make the wing. And then I added some details onto my wing. Now this all can change later. These are just a sketch or a draft for your bird. Next, you are going to add an eye. And then you can start cutting out your bird. Remember, when cutting cardboard, you want to use the very inside of your scissors. That is the strongest part of your scissors. And also another little tip when cutting cardboard, try to get rid of the extra. As you can see, I go around my bird and I get rid of any extra cardboard that's kind of hanging. That's going to add weight to it and it's really hard to cut when that's hanging. Flip over your bird and you are going to glue the back side. You can put it in the middle of your printing block, to the side. It is all up to you. Next, I am going to take my glue bottle and I am going to draw the lines for the feet. And I found it easiest just to pre-cut some long skinny strips and then kind of hold them up, measure them, trim them, and then place them in the lines of glue for the feet. I just continued to add different pieces to the bird. Now I decided to do a background with just circles like an abstract, but you can do whatever kind of background you want. After your printing block is made, you are going to find the shiny part of your foil and place it down. On the dull side of the foil, you are going to place your stamp with the details down and sort of wrap it like a present. It does not have to be perfect. This is just the back of your stamp. And you can either just press down the foil so it stays, or what I like to do is I like to tape the edges, but be very careful with your foil. You do not want it to rip. And just be kind of gentle as you are doing that. But you can see I put a piece of tape on the back to secure it. And before we get to the coloring part, you are just going to want to very lightly, as you can see with one finger, press down so that foil snugs the cardboard that you have cut out. You should be able to see the outline of your bird and the details that you made. Next, you are going to very carefully take a water-based marker and color your stamp. I chose to do my first one cool colors in the bird and warm colors in the background. You also can overlap markers, and you will see that I did this with the light green and then did dark green on the wings. That makes a really cool kind of blending effect. You need to make sure that everything is colored. Now, when everything is colored and there is no reason to rush through this, it's okay if your stamp is dry. You are going to get a wet paper towel or sponge, wet your piece of paper down, bring your stamp back out, put the piece of paper on top of the stamp and rub. Be very careful as you do this, and as you can see, I kind of peek before I flip it over. So the cool thing about this is that you can do as many stamps as you want, but you do need to make sure that you are cleaning your stamp in between the colors. So you need to be washing it with a wet paper towel very gently. Make sure it is dry before you add new markers. And this is your print. These would be really cool for cards or just lots of different pictures. So I can't wait to see what you do.